And video posted online by an activist is said to show Syrian soldiers mocking the dead. Now, they appear to be piling up corpses in a building. At one point, a soldier says the men were hiding weapons. After dragging all of the bodies into a room, the soldiers go outside. They seem to have captured one person alive. A soldier says the man is Turkish, and as he beats him, he asks, "How many Syrian soldiers have you killed?" After several shouts to stand clear, 3 explosions go off inside the building where the bodies are placed. Anita McNaught is watching developments in Syria from neighbouring Turkey. And Anita, as we saw there was one instance of violence in the aftermath of violence. Can you give us a picture of what's going on inside Syria?
Well, that video turns out to have been a slightly dated one, but still very relevant under the current circumstances. It was filmed sometime in March. But what it shows is absolutely typical of what's been going on in the northern provinces that we ourselves now know reasonably well. And the reports that we are getting back from people we now know who provide us with very current information on what's going on around there. The attack on this village, al-Hammama, is not far from the town of Darkush, village of Darkush. These are very small agricultural communities, and it's absolutely typical of the kind of military operation we've seen there that is still ongoing, except these days helicopters seem to be involved, so the scale of things is increasing. But with increasing determination and increasing violence, the Syrian military has sought to prevent the crucial border villages that border with Turkey from acting as conduit points for injured and refugees to leave Syria, and for supplies they're accusing the people here of being involved in the weapons trade. Back in March, I have to say, that was shotguns, pepper-lead shotguns, not the sort of high-grade military ammunition that they might have thought they were. There weren't weapons coming across in March. That was a constant lament of the people that we met. But this sort of act was not unique to this village. It happened in Darkush as well. In fact, it's a carbon copy, as far as I can make out, of a similar video I was shown from Darkush, where they threw hand grenades, the Syrian Army, into a building after they'd shot people there. But I have to say there are very few innocents left in this conflict. What is also happening on the border with Turkey is a lot of fighting between Free Syrian Army, Syrian military, and a lot of fighting between Syrian military forces themselves, as army deserters try to leave the military and have to engage in gun battles with their former colleagues in order to escape. The only difference between this and what's going on in Hula and Hama is that the videos aren't making it into the public domain, and perhaps the scale of it isn't as big in single episodes as we're seeing further down south. But cumulatively, it's every bit as bad. It just hasn't reached the public attention with quite the same impact. But through all this, the Syrian government itself continues to deny it's responsible, as the Syrian ambassador maintained in his address to the UN yesterday.